Good morning, Internet, and welcome back to the deadly Dreamland on Spaced Out. Thought I'd start up over here. This is about where we left off, other than, as you can see, there is a pool of liquid oxygen. Before we get to that, I rearranged my solar to give me more power and added more batteries, because running all these, turns out, uses a lot of power. So let's kind of go over what's happening and what's not working. Let's turn this back on. And you might wonder, why was it off? We'll show you. So, we now have a insulated pipe filled with 10 kilograms of oxygen. I remembered from the original version of the game that I needed to cool these pipes down. So I put a 1 kilo amount and let it rotate for a while until it cooled down. That kind of helped cool down the oxygen. And let's see. You might run into this, and I'll probably go into debug mode here in a second to show it to you. If you see that these tiles are all at negative 180, like they shouldn't be, but there is a weird thing when it comes to especially liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen that they will react with insulated tiles. So here, let me show you what I'm talking about. So if we just make a box here, and we give it a background, and this is all a reasonable temperature at 20 degrees. If we go to put in liquid, or no, wrong way, oxygen, liquid. If I put in 500 kilograms, which is one tile, but I put it over here on the side, and we're going to slow it down, go into gas mode. See, it immediately flashes over, and as that liquid comes down, right there, watch the temperature in this tile. Insulated tiles should not react that fast. You see, this tile's not changing. These tiles aren't changing. But as the liquid is pouring off of the top of here and trying to pour onto that tile, it's then evaporating. You can see the liquid oxygen, and you'll see this mechanic where like the liquids are like trying to jump up the wall. And like we're in slow motion mode, and you can see how fast the temperature of this tile is dropping. And these other ones aren't. So there's just some mechanic that as the liquid pours off of here, it then has to exchange temperature with this insulated tile until it reaches negative 180. Once it reaches negative 180, it will then flow over, do the same thing on this tile. So here, we'll speed it up. And you can see just how fast that tile is dropping temperature. And so, when you're first converting stuff, and yeah, now it's bouncing all over the place. When you're first making cryogenics, you will run into that. And you just have to wait. You have to wait for... deconstruct all. You have to wait for that tile. Get out of debug mode. You know, these tiles have to get down to negative 180 before the fluid can flow across them. And so it's just been a waiting game for that to happen. And pretty much wherever the top of the liquid is, will then start exchanging temperature. Which kind of makes it look funky, and it's one of the reasons to double insulate. So it took a long time for that to happen. Once that settled down, then I went and filled this pipe up because we actually had a stable liquid down here. So then I started pumping in more gas in bits and pieces. And what I was noticing was that this starts to warm up. Very slowly, because we've now got a full tile of liquid oxygen, but this will start to warm up, even though there are 3 thermoregulators and an aqua tuner working on this. and this isn't coming in all that warm, it still just isn't able to keep up. So if we watch this pool of oxygen down here, see it's at negative 192, negative 191.9, like it will just slowly creep up. So all I've been doing is turning it on, letting the pressure in here build. I could put in some automation that says once this reaches, negative 185, turn off that valve. But I didn't think about it when I put it in, and this should all stabilize here shortly. I then put in this loop, which I'm not sure what's going to happen here. I want to use this liquid tank to bring liquid oxygen to my other base and bring liquid petroleum back. I think it'll work. So I've got my liquid oxidizer tank here. I just want to see how much fuel it uses up. See, you are set to 1 kilogram. All right, well, let's turn off that gas for now. Let's hook that up. No. I'm going to turn that on. Now this should bypass the other 9 kilograms this way. And so that will cool this pipe down. And so this going around will probably warm this up, but that's also why we turned off the oxygen, so that all the cooling can be focused on this pool. Building broken. How are you broken? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I guess that is 2100. With everything running. Yeah, I didn't bother checking that. Alright, let's turn off the pump and have someone come in and fix this wire. Okay, let's run the pump off of here. And I think this is just running, yeah, not much. This is running my arcade cabinet. You are open, right? Yes. Okay, bit of a disaster, but oh, you ran away. No, do the priority 7 thing first, dumbasses. Priority 8. Please say you're fixing that. Yes. Potential load is 2040. What's the other? Oh, you're counting the door. Okay. The door we don't care about. Okay. So we'll start that rotating again. And that should be sitting in this tank, which I believe is 450. Yeah, screw it. Let's turn it on. We'll keep an eye on the temperatures. And I'm expecting that to cool down, but I've got 11, 12 degrees to work with and active cooling. So we're going to come back to that. We're going to wait for this save. Because something else was added and I didn't notice it. Let's make sure all the research is actually done. So if you come back here to the main base, I just noticed there was a bug fix today when I loaded the game. Fullerene was added. And as you can see, it's not quite added in there perfectly. Fullerene is a solid material useful in crafting the super coolant. It uses sulfur, aluminum, and graphite. Okay, aluminum we've got volcanoes that produce that. Sulfur we've got a geyser that produces that. Graphite. Additional state refined carbon. Okay. Does that mean we can make it? No. It is a spawned tile. So the new world gin includes graphite, and you use graphite to make fullerene. That being said, I am not restarting the game to get graphite, but I will spawn some in just so I can make some super coolant, because if we can now make an infinite amount, or if they come up with a way of us crafting it, that makes so many other things possible. Because a hydrogen rocket with a rocket silo produces steam that you capture and turn into water. And it's more water than you put hydrogen and oxygen into the rocket. So it's a way of producing water on all of your planets. So yes, supercoolant is kind of back. So this rocket, they are loading up with aluminum. And once it loads up with liquid oxygen, in fact, let's look up here. Let's have a think about this. We've got the liquid tanks. This isn't a vacuum. All right, let me have a think about this. I think I'm going to redo the solar up higher, make it better, and then put in some liquid tanks up here in space where they can't exchange heat. Like a lot of my plans, I was like, oh, this will be great, this will be... Oh, I don't have any jet suits over here. Okay, ladder segments. Ladder segments will be fine. They've got a lot of building to do. Back over here, how's the liquid oxygen doing? Okay, it's come up about 4 degrees. But that's okay. Yeah, you don't need anything. Oh, let's go over here. This got carbon dioxide again. I don't know where that carbon dioxide comes from. Just after that steam evaporated and this solidified, all of a sudden this was full of carbon dioxide again. Like it went all the way down to a vacuum. I saved the game, I came back, carbon dioxide. No idea. So that's all still screaming hot. This aqua tuner has no issue with carbon dioxide. It's got a conductivity of nothing. And this is dormant for a long time, right? 12 cycles. Okay. So it's not dormant for super long, it's just super long between eruptions. Debating whether or not to turn off the O2 coming in or just kind of let it keep going. Okay, that's now filling you up. But it's going to be in here that is very warm. You are now full. So is liquid oxygen better than... Where do I see that? In new rockets? Okay. Oh, that's new, so you can just swap them directly. Still says range 6. Where do I have a rocket pad? Over here. If I do a new rocket, alright. But it doesn't tell me what the oxidizer does. At some point someone will put out a map or a graph or something telling us how the oxidizers work. I'm assuming liquid oxygen is better than oxalate. At the bare minimum, my dupes don't have to carry it around. So I've disconnected the oxalate refinery over here, and my two gas systems are keeping this pipe full. But we're back to the vanilla type of game where I've got to rotate 1 kilogram packets till the pipe cools down. Because now we can make fullerene, but there's still no isoresin. The base is kind of warm. What do you set to? I can set to 20. You're just working hard because there's a steam turbine there. How much do you hold? I don't know, but I gotta ways before that rotates enough. So theoretically, this layer of liquid oxygen is staying stable because we're pumping out 1 kilogram and pumping in 1 kilogram. And it mostly seems to be. I'm just curious when these packets come back how much they warm this up. Alright. Let's turn that off. I just don't want this coming back too warm, because if it warms that other pipe above the breaking point, then yeah, I'm just going to have a mess. Actually, it won't be that bad. It's just going to release very cold oxygen into the top of the base. So is this 450 or 900? Or 600? I've never really paid attention to how much this thing holds. What if we do... And you don't tell me. Why wouldn't that tell me how much it can hold? Isn't there a large liquid cargo tank? Weird. Like that would just be like super simple information to put in there of like, what's the capacity of this cargo module? I think that's coming down. I thought it was at negative 187. So that should be good. How's this building project going? No, pretty good. Pretty sure ladders don't block light. Yeah, it's just the solar panels are blocking light. Try to prioritize the wires and the panels so that I can convert these over. I might need more glass. I have no idea how much I have. But all the dupes over here are bored and haven't been doing anything. Time for them to get to work. Actually, it'll be fine because I can just deconstruct these. I just don't want to run out of power in the middle. But I guess we're not running into the big stuff. Alright. Is this coming back yet? No, you're still filling up. How big is this tank? Oh, there's a shine bug. I'm like, how is this solar panel working? It's getting a little bit of light from a shine bug, which is giving me 5 watts. You go, little shine bug. You're keeping the base alive at night. I'm guessing this is 900? I really didn't look at this before. Now I'm curious. What hydrogen do I have? We have 1,000 kilograms of hydrogen in here. Please say I locked that door. Yes. All I need is for a dupe to randomly walk in there for that, and that'd be a problem. Lots of puffs going nuts. Is that it? 900. Oh, the game was kind of bugging out and these weren't moving. Alright, so the rotation is working and you are not trying to empty yourself. Just out of curiosity. Contents empty. If I do that... Okay. I was really worried that this would try to empty. They say there's supposed to be filters in here, but they haven't implemented that yet. So I was afraid this would both fill and empty the tank, which is kind of the opposite of what I want. When I want liquid oxygen going one direction and liquid petroleum coming the other. Alright, and these pipes didn't break. Well, 640 cycles is definitely the longest it's taken me to get a liquid oxygen system going. But to be fair, there wasn't even the possibility until I was 600 cycles in. Awesome. So you're there. So now let's do some experimenting. We are about to go into debug mode madness, because I want to try something and I'm curious whether or not it will work. So see, this iron volcano has gone dormant. So let's get rid of that iron. We are going to come over here. This one's also dormant. And so you want to clear that out. And we want to grab that volcano. You're going to come back here. We are going to destroy that. Oh, I forgot to copy. Over here, copy. So volcano dormancy is based on location. So we put that there. All right, we now need to make a vacuum because that one was surrounded by steam. Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, a bit of liquid water came off the door, and that's fine. Did I not get it all? Yeah, it's still seeing the liquid falling. All right, there it is. And now let's deconstruct all of these buildings and clean up that floor. All right, and so you see how this is dormant over here? It's not based on the volcano, it's based on the location. So now that we have a clean volcano, let's do that. Copy. We'll destroy all of that. Put in a floor. Oh, I ended up copying the wrong thing. Damn it. Clear selection. And we gotta do this again. Like I said, debug madness. Actually, no, I want the neutronium. This time we're gonna put this up in space and clean it up. And see, up here, it's idle. That's what I was trying to get at. Alright, now that's back to being a vacuum. So now if I put that there, see, now it's idle. So we'll analyze it. And you erupt in 9 cycles. So what I'm trying to see is what happens when I pour that niobium into here. Does it melt everything? No, this finally got down below 135. So I'm going to pause you guys for 9 cycles because we're just going to wait for this to erupt and see what happens. That was a close one. I started getting the broken pipe warning. As I was clicking around, I saw the little explosion, so I turned off the pump. And because this circulated, those 9 kilogram packets fell out, and now we're just getting the 1 kilogram ones back until this cools down enough. It got up too warm, so I gotta turn the gas off. All right, we'll let the gas turn off. We'll let these temperatures come down, and we'll come look at some volcanoes. This is what I was talking about at the beginning. We're just about to get the next tile of oxygen. And you see how it likes to bounce up and down, and it's exchanging temperature with some tile. Most of these are down there. Yeah, you can see the pressure bounces up and down, the amount bounces up and down, and you just gotta wait it out. You just gotta trust that it's coming up in temperature, as long as your coolant's getting there. Yeah, those are all in the 190s. This one's warm because it's doing the steam turbines. But now that the liquid oxygen level's getting up closer, that one should start dropping in temperature. Yeah, so the pressure in here is just going to bounce up and down for a while. In fact, let's just turn off the oxygen and wait for it. Yeah, so that's what I'm waiting on. We've got another, wrong planet. 5 cycles till that goes off. I'm just watching this to make sure it doesn't explode. And we're back. I got this cold enough that it is rotating, starting to bring the temperatures down. It led to a lot of high pressure in here. But we should be just about there. I mean, we're a couple of degrees off from condensing it. We've finally got this big pool cold enough that now the aqua tuner is keeping up. Oh, one thing that just happened, I got the made a mess warning. Let's see, a little packet of water got into my water cleaning room. So there was a 1 gram packet of water there that had 4 food poisoning germs that backed up the whole system. But now it's flowing. Not exactly sure where that came from, but you got to keep an eye on those things. They will screw you up. Come on, oxygen, you're right there. Oh, never mind, you still got another couple of degrees. Alright, it's very close to condensing. But the rotation seems to be working fine. And over here, we gotta be getting close, right? Yeah, we got a half cycle before this goes off. Rowan here made himself a bunch of food because I thought he was bored. And we're actually getting a lot of the iron out of here. This pile over here that was like 40 tons, even though it wasn't being rotated, was still exchanging temperature. So, it's down to 300 now. So it actually cools off pretty quick once it starts rotating. And I went and put a second brick of insulation to try to stop some of the heat transfer. And you see some of it exchanges out of here. And then if this ever gets too warm, I just put some temp shift plates in there and it cools it right back down. But we get to watch these little packets of red turn into packets of green. And the game is definitely chugging. Like, it is struggling trying to do all the calculations on 5 bases. Is it 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then they just added some more. And you still got a couple of degrees. Alright, we'll bring it back in half a cycle. Alright, let's get ready for it. The point of this experiment is, am I going to make solid tiles of niobium anywhere in here, and is it going to melt the steel? So let's slow it down. Yep, melted the steel. Wow. That, people, is molten steel. And that is a lot of niobium. Holy crap. Oh, okay. No, that's, that's several... And it's definitely dumping heat in here. Holy crap. Holy... Okay, this is a lot of niobium. How far are you going? Oh God. Holy crap. So this was unexpected. Wow. And it's still going. Like, I didn't get much out of it before because it instantly turned into solid chunks, but wow. All right, we're gonna have to make some more room and let's go in like this. I didn't want that door to melt. Okay, so now you're done erupting. I mean... Okay. Wow. What do we do with this? I'm assuming you're exchanging heat, and you are. I gotta be honest, I was not expecting that much. Everything in here is now overheating. Well, good experiment. I can't believe it. Wow. So it turns out this design doesn't give you nearly as much niobium. What is this one? 289 kilograms for 61 seconds. But the steam turns it into solids and it's reasonable. This one is 210 kilograms for 62 seconds. So it should be much less. But that's 12 tiles of molten niobium. Wow. Okay, well, we are way over time, and this was a good experiment. I don't know exactly what we do with this, but let's stop everything from overheating. Thank you very much for watching. I'm sure there'll be much more stupidity about this later, because holy crap.